Welcome, dear listener, to Season 1, Episode 10, the final dispatch of our first journey together. If you've followed this voice through smoke and silence, through riddles and revelations, then you know. This was never just a podcast. It was a flare, and tonight, it burns brightest. Do you feel it? The trembling in the wires, the flicker behind the curtain of consensus, the hush that falls when truth enters the room uninvited? It's there. You feel it in the quiet betrayal of headlines too sterile to be human. You hear it in the hum of a populace lulled into apathy by algorithm. You see it, or perhaps you don't, in what's no longer shown, no longer spoken, no longer allowed. This was Season 1, a reckoning wrapped in rhyme, an elegy for what we were and a manifesto for what we might yet become. 10 chapters, 10 cries in the dark, 10 candles flickering against the storm. But this 10th, this is not a finale. It is a flare shot into the sky to show the world that even in a blackout, we know where the fire lives. We have watched the architects of silence at work. They do not kick in doors. They do not burn books in the square. No, they are far more elegant now. More efficient. They click, they de-rank, they shadow, they label, they say, this content may be misleading. And poof, the revolution is unsearchable. This is not censorship as your grandfather knew it. This is censorship with a smile, a soothing digital lullaby sung by serpents in silk. And yet here we are, still speaking, still remembering, still defying. This season we spoke of many things. We spoke of the purging of books, where libraries once stood as cathedrals of knowledge, now stripped, sanitized, and politically sterilized. We read aloud the erased. We summoned the stories of children behind barbed wire, of rebels on flight logs, of secrets wrapped in court seals and signatures smeared in shame. We did not merely speak truth to power. We mocked power. We undressed it. We reminded it that while it may rule for a moment, truth reigns forever. We asked, what becomes of a society that trades liberty for comfort? It becomes tame, polite, domesticated, a zoo of citizens who sing only when fed. But we were not born to live behind bars, even those painted with freedom's colors. We were born to know, to question, to remember, and to burn. They will tell you, forget the past. It's too painful. It's divisive. It's not your story to tell. But memory, dear listener, is not a museum piece. It is not fragile glass behind velvet ropes. It is fire. It is ink on skin. It is the breath in your lungs when you whisper your grandmother's name, the one taken from her tongue by ships and shackles. You must not forget, because forgetting is how it all begins again. We unmasked hypocrisy on both sides, red-blue, both soaked in green, both drunk on control. We reminded them that the people are not pawns. That revolution wears no party pin. And when they scoffed, we laughed louder. Because satire, my friends, is the knife that cuts deepest, precisely because it smiles as it plunges. They said we were conspiracy theorists. Of course they did. Because nothing terrifies the powerful more than a citizen who thinks and questions and reads between the lies. But this podcast, this was not conspiracy. This was clarity, a map drawn in sound, leading you through the labyrinth of their deception to the torchlit truth they fear you'll find. And many of you did. You followed the voice. You asked the questions. You shared the sparks. And for that, you have my gratitude. And more importantly, you have my respect. And now we stand at the threshold. Season 1 ends, not because the fire is out, but because the flame has found you. It burns in your fingers when you type, in your tongue when you speak, in your spine when you refuse to bow. You are not listeners. You are not listeners. And embers, when gathered, become wildfires. So what comes next? Now that is a delicious question. Season 2 will not simply be more of the same. It will be more dangerous, more revealing, more human. We will not just expose injustice, we will propose imagination. We will not only unveil corruption, we will construct courage. And above all, we will remind you again and again that the mask was never the point. It was the voice behind it, the one you now carry, the one they can't silence no matter what they erase. So to close this first volume, let me offer a final thought, a poem, if you will, scrawled not in rhyme but in rebellion. If they burn the books, be the library. If they lock the doors, be the key. If they silence the voice, be the choir. If they dim the light, be the sun. You've been listening. Now it's time to speak. I am V, but you You are the revolution.